since Cory Mack from Calgary is our visitor this afternoon. Cory, do you have a hell gig that you can share with us?
I do. I was hired to do a basement party. What?
Wow.
In Airdrie, and I met the woman at the McDonald's in Airdrie and drove out to the acreage, and it was for about maybe 12 people, and I did so well the first Christmas party that they had me back, but I used the pool cue. I stood by the pool table. They gathered around in soft chairs.
How much time did you have to do? Like, how much time did you do the first year?
I probably was doing like 30, 40 minutes. The kids were in their pajamas coming down the stairs the first year. The second year, everybody knew I was coming. Everybody knew me by name. And so I guess the kids were at somebody else's house. Like, it was like, you should never do comedy in your socks, Chris Nanneroni always says. And, dogs should never be sniffing your crotch. But, like, that's probably the most vulnerable I've ever felt, like, at a.
Yeah, so Bahamas, I fly to Miami, and then from Miami, I fly on a smaller plane to some island. Hang on, speaking of airplanes, can you hear it going overhead? From there, we had to take a smaller plane to the third place. Except when we got there, the guy had a clipboard, and he was really small. He goes, how much do you weigh? I go, excuse me? How much do you weigh? So I told him, and of course I lied, because I'm, And then I noticed I think there's about 8 or 10 people on the plane, about 6 were women. I said, you better add some extra pounds to your weight load there, because all these bitches are lying about how much we weigh. So he gets on the plane. We all sit down on the plane. He starts moving people around. All right, the big guy there, you got to move to the front over here. All right, you go to the back over there. So he starts weight shifting the plane to go to the... I'm like... We're all going to die. We're all just going to crash. We're dying. So we get to this thing. We're doing the gig, and it's at a resort. It's an absolutely beautiful place, but you're under, like, tiki hut things. And before we went on, it was a big incentive thing for some huge company. Their kids were there, which, is my forte. And
not.
They gave the kids whistles before I went on.
Oh, it's like New Year's.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So they all had whistles that they were blowing, and I was standing basically on a mat with attached to a podium with some microphone where I couldn't go anywhere, and nobody's paying attention. They're all liquored up, and the kids are blowing the whistles. So I stood there and talked to a palm tree, did my little jokes.
Brutal.
And then they paid me a lot of money, by the way. That's the only reason that made it decent, but